Have we got all killed? Master reveal. She hates the doctor. She's like, the doctor's my enemy. You're actually the bad guy. Gonna go revenge on him. There we go. The doctor Ilya. Kal'tsit is behind everything. She said like, you know, my scientists, like my students, right? I think she's the main scientist behind these experiments that created maybe the infection. Then she might be the true evil of, like, maybe it's all her fault. She unearthed this sin on the humans. Yeah, okay, so the bird thing was her fault in a sense then. Because Mephisto was created by this bird machine, right? So is this doctor also then a bird or something? Here we go. Is he a bird then? Is he also like the wuchang bird thing? Oh yeah, I guess she was the one then. Kal'tsit is actually the bad guy. In a sense. Oh, she's an accident, okay. Yeah, the memory was just it wasn't purpose. Oh, here we go, I hated you! Oh my god, I hated you! You're the bad guy. Oh my god, I didn't go back again. So the doctor's actually the bad guy in the storyline. He doesn't remember it. Oh, he killed Teresa? Yeah, I killed your friend, Teresa. Yeah, you murdered Teresa. You know, she's the one you see in the ending hugging everyone. Yeah. The doctor murdered Teresa. My god, this twist ending, guys. This is like a massive turnaround here. So the doctor then killed this woman, right? Which we see, you know, in the flashback, we see in the ending and so on. Yeah, she's like, you know, everyone's beloved. Okay, so the episode was like a massive twist here. Where they had the ending going on earlier, which she is part of them, right? And then they turned out that Kal'tsit, I guess, is like the main leader of the scientist guys and her powers, and the doctor is actually the main bad guy, something like that. So massive twist, Jesus Christ, massive twist. So here welcome to course. So welcome to another Arknights episode. Everyone. This episode here, guys, will be different than the previous episode, right? Because this season, I think I want to focus on, you know, the epics and morality, right? Arknights has a lot of interesting parts in season 3 here about should you take revenge. Should you, you know, kill the one that killed your best friend? This person killed your daughter. Is it right for that thing, right? Or how to get forgiveness if you do something wrong in wars or what? Be very, like, I feel interesting ethical seasons. I've pushed that. However, today, guys, it's all story bits, yeah. You saw earlier, right? The doctor's actually the bad guy. So this episode here, this will be a more, you know, standard reaction or anime reaction, because half the episode is basically like the doctor is the bad guy. So, which is interesting. And I would also say immediately here, guys, I haven't still played the game, right? I keep telling you guys, if this video gets 10,000 likes, not whatever, but something like that, yeah, push me to play it. But anyway, I haven't played the game, but I wonder how this is different in the game, right? In the end of this episode, she gives him kind of the play the game kind of thing, right? So this is clearly like in between two chapters. I'm guessing before the final boss fight, right? Taloa. So I do wonder how it's like different in the game, how you are like presenting it. I had my suspicion that he might be evil or whatever, right? But it wasn't that clear. Here's the Misha. So, but it feels to me like a game would have probably more hints, and the anime has probably removed a lot of these hints that the doctor's evil or whatever, right? So yeah, if you play the game, leave a comment below what the differences are. But anyway, let's get to the episode. First, then it's gonna be a little bit of, you know, I don't know. But I keep saying I just love V-Man. You're coming in there freaking Tsundere basketball. Let's go. Baka! I love it so much. I just love V-Man. I love this. It's like early episode, right? Freaking aggressive Tsundere evil girl. She wants to help them, okay? So see here, right? She wants to help the good guys. But she just can't tell them that because she's a bad girl. And she has to pretend that she hates them. Just like, what are you doing? Yeah. She has to like scream at them. Oh, I hate you. But I also want to like maybe fight the other woman. Yeah. You have no right to call me that, cat girl. Here we go, we're on the same side now. Don't you want my help from the cat Kal'tsit? No, I just love it so much. I just love Tsundere evil girls because she just wants to help them. She wants to go in and fight the bad girl with them, right? But she can't just admit that. She can't just tell them that, hey, can I help you guys? She has to come in and be like, oh, backa nu! If you backas, by the way, can I join your army now? She's like, can I help you guys? Yeah, no, they're like, can we... I like the side of, come on, you idiots. Let me help you. Can I help you, really? Come on! Let me join you, idiots! Yeah, she gets to join the army and help by me as well. Yeah, they're sending her to help them, of course. Yeah, let's believe in her. Yeah. But yeah, like I said earlier, I really do love WWE and her dissertation, right? I really love it. Yeah, I think she's hilarious. I think that I have a weak spot for Tsundere though. I know a lot of anime fit casuals hate Tsundere, right? But I love Tsundere. I think Tsundere are adorable. For example, Aries or whatever. I think Tsundere are awesome, and I always liked Tsundere. But I always grew up also in the early 90s, right? So Tsundere were definitely more common back in the days. But anyway, this character, I love it. I think it's hilarious. She's like an evil Tsundere, right? And she wants to help Mala, keeps saying there. She wants to like go and help Amiya. She wants to go and fight Talua again, right? Because she failed earlier by herself. She wants to join the good army, but she can't just enter and be like, oh, actually, I want to join your side. Or, I was wrong. Or she can't just tell them that, oh yeah, I was wrong fighting for Talua. I see my mistake now, right? She has to instead come in and be like, Bakale! Look, if you really need me, I will fight for you. It's not like I actually have to fight. I mean, but if you really want me to, maybe I can assist you, She has to come in and be like, what does she do? Oh, okay. Yeah, she can't just like, join them. She has to be coming in and being full of herself. And I just find it so, I don't know, but to me this is, I just keep laughing at it. To me, this is comedy gold, guys. What do you guys think? But I loved it. I think she's like one of my favorite characters now. She's so funny. He's so ridiculous. He's so obvious too. And all the good guys are like, yes, we know you want to help us. Like, no, I don't. But yes, you do. Maybe. You say what you want, woman. You're so wasting our time, But it's extra funny when she's like a murderer psychopath. Yeah, it's extra. It's always gold. It's gold. Yeah, so they're gonna join in here, right? Amiya basically asks everyone to stay outside. So she's gonna they're gonna take the party with you, right? And I think this here to me feels like a very video game thing. Because otherwise you would have to bring all this other, but she's like, no, I have my my party members, yeah. I got my wife to squad, Because otherwise you would have to bring kinda all these new characters with you, right? So this feels very video gamey, right? How it's like, well, okay, 10 of you guys stay at that gate. And you guys will come with me, yeah. So you don't have to have 50 party members, right? It's like, no, I only need these people. Yeah, I only need this super squad. This he doesn't know. Of course she wants to join her, right? She hates her. But this goes back to what we had earlier. How she's so mad. Yeah, she's so full of hatred. And it's like, is it wrong for me to hate her though? She killed my friends, I want to kill her. I will do everything in my might to kill her, right? Yes, but I want to murder her. Of course, Rose is like, yeah, she wants to kill her 100%. But I find this in here, and this I think is good because, so early episode, right, we were discussing if she's mad with revenge, right, and so on. Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is that I think from an army standpoint, she's very powerful. And she wants but I want to murder her, right? Let me do it, let me kill her. And yeah, sure, that kind of makes sense. But I think the problem is, though, from any military standpoint, she's a massive, okay, this kind of adorable now. She's like, you're cute. Yeah, you're cute. You're a cute weapon. You're a cute weapon. That's silly, but gotta have silly scene. But anyway, I think from a military standpoint, yeah, she's very powerful. But I also probably wouldn't bring Rose with me, even though she's we can discuss the morality of getting revenge and all that stuff, right? But regardless, she's like a loose cannon. We saw her crying and screaming and destroying that wall. We saw her blowing up that wall and killing those civilians. Yeah, war, yeah. She's going mental, right? So I also would be like, maybe you can Amiya is like, what if you can't you defend that gate over here? But I want to kill her. But I need someone to defend that gate. I think that makes sense, right? And again, like I said, ignoring the morality, right, of getting revenge, ignoring should I kill the one that killed my mom or whatever. Yeah, ignoring that. It's just she's too mentally, she's too psychotically, focus on it, right? So I wouldn't trust to bring her with me because she's just I want to kill her no matter what. It's like, yeah, okay, but calm down, okay? Shien! Oh my god! Shien is finally here! Oh my god! Shien! Yeah, barely seen Shien anymore. And she's finally screen time. And she's also a fighter by herself? This is kind of stupid though, because she also probably could help Amiya instead. She probably won't win though by herself though, so maybe Amiya will get there, but she's in trouble probably. Okay, I think we probably will see more for now. Okay, so I'm gonna guess here, guys. That felt very anime to me, so to speak. No, but this feels kind of tropey, right? So what I'm gonna guess here with Shen, is that we see her now, right? And then the next time we see her, she will fight Talua. You know what I mean? This is, like I said, it's very anime. She's presented as, okay, I'm gonna solo her. Let's go, bitch, you know? And then she's gonna struggle, right, defeating the main evil woman. And then the other good guy will come in and help her, right, so they can fight together. Which, of course, because Chien obviously kind of abandoned them, right? She was like, I have to do it myself, you know? Screw you guys, I will solo her, right, you know? And so it's a lesson for Chien too, right, to be like, maybe I should team up more. Maybe I should have betrayed Hoshiguma, right? Maybe I should be with her instead. My freaking Uni waifu. So it feels like it's gonna be a, you know, a development for her, right? To have to ask for help later in that fight and so on. Because yeah, I think she's gonna go in there and lose the 1-on-1, right? This just feels very classic, but she has to have a little bit of like accountability, right? For going, she also like just like Rose turning into a loose cannon. Yeah, she's also going into a loose cannon mode, right? And that's also not very good for your strategies. Okay, so Mephisto made them all into infested on purpose. Yeah, so he's clearly like, I mean, we know he's crazy. And also we've seen him and Sasha, that other boy, right, with Talua and the burning. Is this maybe when Talua is burning it down then? Because this is of course obviously, yeah, Talua, so this is his perspective, right, on her in his youth. We saw her flashback, right? So I'm thinking the house we saw burning there, yeah, is that maybe when Talua burned down the village, right? So yeah, last episode of we saw Talua's backstory. We saw her perspective, and we saw her, you know, losing her mind when the Lina was murdered, and she burned down the place. And before that, we saw when the grandpa was murdered, she burned down the place. You know, she burned down a lot of stuff. You know, so I guess this flashback is Mephisto's eye. Yeah, the house we saw burning there. That's probably his memory of her burning down the place, right? And she killing all the people and all the civilians and all like that. And so, you know, a reason perhaps what he's mentally saying, because he was like his big sister, his idol, right? He obviously idolizes Talo, right? He grew up and she was his, you know, idol, obviously. And then she went crazy and like killed everyone. He's like, yeah, that's cool. So I think that's obviously a motivation what he's like now, you know, infected all these other people after that. And because, yeah, like he's idolizing this woman and she's crazy. He's like, yeah, I trust you, boy. Exactly, our ideals. Yeah, so she kind of spread her hatred into him, right? But he turned into like a bird now, which I have no idea how that happened. But yeah, I have no idea how he turned into a bird. But he's clearly Mephisto is the bird, and he's a white bird, right? He's clearly the bird guy. That's obvious, but I have no idea how it happened. Yeah, weeks or so on. I don't get that. But it reminds me massively of wuchang. Like a lot like wuchang. Yeah, he has this bird with legs and but I don't know how that happened. How did he become a bird? Is that the ultimate form of the infections? Because it really is like wuchang, like I keep saying. Yeah, so they find him as like this ice bird monster, right? With more affected people. Maybe they somehow transform in. Oh, you know him? But it's clearly Mephisto though. But yeah, obviously, but or his older name Myrmonden, but so he really looks like a wuchang monster, 100%. Extremely much. So he looks like the avian marsh cat. I just played through wuchang this last week here, right? And a lot this week. And he looks straight up like a monster from wuchang. See the bird thing, right? Got the stone thing going on. The burn, the rock things. The feather, and like the extra feathers sticking out in the face and so on. He looks exactly like wuchang, 100%. So yeah, if you know your Chinese mythology, please leave a comment below, right? So like I said, I just played through wuchang, and every enemy in wuchang, including the main character and by wuchang, she has this called the feathering, where they also get infected, and then they eventually became like bird monsters, right? Now here in Arknights, everyone's infected, right? And Mephisto is one of like the source of infection. He can like spread infection a lot and so on, right? And he now turned into like a giant bird monster with the rocks and his feathering coming out. That feels you straight up like in wuchang feathering. Now of course this game is older than wuchang, can be wrong. And wuchang is of course based on mythology, right? It's based on history and mythology of China. So yeah, I feel they have basically the same myth, I guess, right? About like the demonic feathering thing, because I'm pretty sure that wuchang didn't invent that stuff. Now after playing wuchang, I have read a lot of text, most of it from Chinese players, right, explaining all the different lore bits, because it's a typical Souls game, right, so I can't really understand all the different stuff, because the game doesn't display it, right, so to speak. So So, for example, one of the endings is based on the Empress, like the first Empress of the Han Dynasty, and she did to a concubine and so on, right? I don't want to spoil it too much, but it's a bunch of like, historical, people in the game, right? Historical references, and again, then this feathering thing. So, to me now, it feels like this Arknight infestation is the same feather mitten that they actually turn into birds if they have enough of these rocks in their bodies. Because in wuchang, the game, it looks very similar. So basically, some of the enemies has these rocks right in like the arms and then maybe that this like rock thing will turn into like a feather or like a wing or something, right? Eventually, like with Mephisto, like he has like a black thing sticking out, right? And also in wuchang, just like with Mephisto, they have their bird bodies, but they might have some extra feathers sticking out here, maybe in their face. They might have some kind of random feathers, right? So it feels like they're morphing into bird people, but they tend to have some kind of weird mutated place, right, where they shouldn't have the actual wing or the extra feathers, kind of random places sometimes. Right? That feels kind of how the infested people are, like when they have this rock in the leg or in the arm or in the face, right, that's gonna be like the main mutation place. So maybe, because I guess every other character to be infested, they have like died before they have like maybe turn into this form or something. Because now I feel like Mephisto is like the first person to kind of, he probably would die. He does at his spot, but like kind of fulfills the infestation, because he was so heavily infested, right? He could spread it and so on. He had so much infestation power or whatever that maybe he could become the true bird form then. And everyone else that infested and dies, maybe they're almost becoming birds, then they die. Because it feels very similar to wuchang. And I don't think it's a coincidence, right? I think they're both probably based on the same Chinese mythology. But let's keep going. He keeps singing, right? Very likely end of Mephisto. And then we see the death of Alina and the death of so on. Sees his friend and all that stuff, right? I think with that crystal that he has over his face, with that one, now it's shadows there. I think with that one, like shadows, he will just die, right? But yeah, I keep saying it, but he looks very much like the wuchang character, because he's like a bird, but he still has some of these black rocks in his torso there. It's like a random mutation that didn't really work out properly. He's 95% transformed correctly, right? So there's a lot of those bosses in that game where they almost turn into a bird demon, but there's something wrong with them. Yeah, I don't think wuchang has any all the feathered bosses in that game. I don't think any of them is a perfect transformation. There are a bunch of enemy bosses that are just humans or whatever, you know what I mean? But the ones that turn into feather monsters, because it's oh, she has one wing, it's one with alien. They all have that kind of they're almost a perfection of a feathered human, but there's also something wrong with them. Which of course is the point, because it's like a curse, right? You get stronger by turning into a bird monster. It's with him, you get stronger, but it's always something wrong with you. This is never perfectly, aligned, right? The ending comes now, but it's actually a twist thing, because it's 10 more minutes after this thing. You're gonna find this the Talawas base, maybe? No, this is something else. Oh, this is where the doctor's from. Okay, this is where before the enemies are set. No, she knows it. She almost knows the truth, right? Cassie, she knows the truth, yeah, she's... Yeah. She knows the truth of reality. She fully knows what actually is happening, she's just not telling us that. She knows everything. She's gonna betray us, yeah. This is classic betrayal scene. But there's something else though. I think it's something else, because it's not that she's gonna betray us. This feels like this, yeah, on Earth, this is where everything started. Right? This is where the weird stuff actually came from or something. The power or something. It's some kind of old, science stuff that maybe some aliens invented or something. I don't know. But it's kind of classic anime with this thing's actually 10,000 years old. It's been here forever. All of my students, okay, she's the main, okay, so she's evil. Or something like that. It's her fault. She behind a lot of the issues in the game. That's how it seems, right? She's actually the main researcher. The way she phrased it, she has to be kind of the main culprit for this science then. Which means that she maybe invented most of this stuff. Yeah. And the doctor somehow was probably the one did it. It does feel like she's gonna say that you are the one that killed everyone. Because you have no memory. I've seen this kind of plot before, right? Yeah, she has no memory. You have no memory of what happened before. Here we go, yeah. He was the one that killed them. She has to be referring to the doctor. Like, she's like, you are the one that killed you killed all the children, doctors. Something like that. Okay, she healed him. Okay, she put him in that. Oh, wait, so the bird thing was that? Okay, that's interesting. I think I paused here. A lot of info here. So the bird was created from this thing too? Because, I mean, Mephisto, right, became this giant ice bird. And that to me didn't make any sense. I mean, from a general standpoint, I keep saying that, yeah, maybe it's like wuchang, but why would he suddenly become a bird and everyone else just dies, right? So they kind of like took his infection, put him in this machinery, and that's this sarcophagus, right? It's like there's like an alien pyramid thing going on here, right? And then he kind of came out as a bird. So is the doctor a bird then? Is the doctor also like a feathery thing? Is he also like a bird human? You know what I mean? Is he also an avian? That would be my biggest question immediately. Because if the doctor also went through that procedure, is he also then, part bird or something, right? Like he was no parents, right? But yeah, what happened to me? What did it to me? It sounds like they made him also a bird human then. But yeah, she's clearly the one behind most of the backstory. Kal'tsit is clearly like behind most of it. But yeah, I don't hated you. It's all your fault. You killed everyone. Here we go. Yeah, I hate you. You're my worst enemy. And then we see like some older Amiya. This is like Amiya, but it's like an older Amiya, right? This is probably Amiya is probably like a clone of her or something. Yeah, this is not the same Amiya, right? She calls her Amiya, but this is clearly Amiya for something else, right? Is it the same Amiya? I don't think so. It feels like another Amiya. Man, a lot of twists here. And then it's like the doctor did everything. Okay, bam! Massive twist ending. Whew, let's review it. A lot of the breaks down. Like I said earlier, right, this episode here definitely focused on the storyline, right, rather than the ethic part, the early episodes. First of all, obviously kal'tsit knows the truth, I guess, right? She has to be like the main scientist. The way she said it is like, oh, all my students, all the children got murdered by you and so on. So she was the main person behind all this science, right? So indirectly, I guess she is the cause of a lot of issues in this anime. That's how it sounds. Of course, she did it on purpose, right? But if it's like she, unearthed some like alien technology or some, Asian civilization that built these weapons or this science or this infection or whatever, or everything in between, right? And she kind of made it all live again. So that's how it sounds. Now, of course, I guess Therese and other characters also were involved in that thing. But again, since she is probably the main culprit, right? Behind a lot of that stuff. That's certainly how it sounds. The doctor's evil, I guess. Now, this of course is similar to, for example, spoilers now then, Xenogears comes to my mind immediately, and other games like that. So in Xenogears then, spoilers, the main character also has amnesia, right? Fei Long, but he's also actually evil. But in that game you have split personality, you change characters later on and so on. So I said before, of course, in other games and anime and so on, right? With the main characters who know who they are. And I do have to say it's a little bit kind of common, right? That if the main character has amnesia, they tend to kind of have like a bad personality before, right? So I was a little bit like, I didn't know this would happen. I definitely wouldn't say that. But I don't think it was completely out of the blue either. I kind of expected the doctors to perhaps be evil, like I said, because it is part of, pretty common, like, oh yeah, he has amnesia. Who would be in the past, right? And usually, of course, if the main characters are amnesia, they have to be an important person before, right? Whereas this would make any sense. We also have, for example, Tales of Arise, right? You also have amnesia there, for example, and so forth, right? It's a pretty common trope, right? The amnesia trope itself is pretty common, right? But another reason they have amnesia trope, though, is also because the player, right, can come in and, what's called them again, imprint himself on the character, right? Because if you're playing the main character, and the main character doesn't know who they are, because again, you just woke up and you have to lead this army, you know what I mean? Then you as the player can be, it's my personality, I am the character, you know what I mean? So, that's also a reason why you have that storyline. But then also maybe you would have to pass it evil, but I like it, I feel like I can't say exactly what is happening yet though. This episode here is clearly massive twist, right? You are evil, the main character is evil. Okay, what does that mean? She didn't really explain it, right? So next episode is probably going to be more a deep dive in an actual flashback. So yeah, for that, guys, we'll go into more what happened, right? But it sounds like the doctor basically was on the other side of this war and like killed all the kids or whatever and her friends or so on. That's how it sounds. But then it wonders why would she heal him then, right? And she said, "Oh, I made a promise, I guess to Amia, I guess, and maybe Teresa, but probably Amia, to protect him." And she's like, "I hate you." So I like that. So that she is like still hates him, right? She actually literally like hates him, but she's like, "I have to help you because I promised to help you, not because I actually want to help you. I hope you die." So it's kind of interesting. She's just like, "Oh, well, I guess I'm gonna do it." But yeah, it does feel like the doctor probably then worked for their side, but he probably has to be some kind of scientist. Maybe he like betrayed them. That maybe would make sense. Like maybe he was the one they get the odd armor to get it, right? Because otherwise he wouldn't heal him. So I feel he has to be involved. The doctor has to also be a scientist, right? Or else it doesn't make any sense. I think that's pretty ridiculous. He also has to be working in this team, you know what I mean? But then somehow it was his fault that they maybe died or something. But also, I suppose, maybe he just killed her regardless of the other army, right? Maybe they were attacked, whatever happened with that, and then he killed her anyway for some other issues. So, I mean, I suppose she might just say it like that, and the doctor, yeah, that's one thing, okay. One thing, it might be like a ruse, right? She's like, "You killed Teresa and I loved her, so I hate you." She's saying like that, but maybe Teresa herself was turning into a bird monster or something similar, right? That actually, okay, I feel that probably happened. Like, I have to say I feel pretty sure on that now that I'm thinking about it. What happened probably, right, is that, yes, Teresa was turning into an evil monster, you know what I mean? She was going evil. Everyone loved her, but she was turning into a crazy bird lady, right? And then the doctor, of course, the main character, before those memories, he killed her, right? Not because he's evil, because she was turning insane or whatever, right? Now, kal'tsit is like, "Oh, I effing hate you, because I love Teresa, you killed her, and you're a bastard," or so, but she actually, you know, probably deep down understands that he had to do it, but she might feel like maybe you could have cured her, maybe you could have, you know, captured her, right? Why did you kill my lover or something? So that probably happened. She's like, "Yeah, damn it, you killed the woman I loved," but actually, like, she probably understands why I did it, and that's why she still is healing him and saved him, right, from dying from the other stuff, because she's like, "Well, I guess I you know." So when she said, "I promised her," she actually probably means Teresa, right? So Teresa probably, again, turn evil, turn crazy, doctor kills her, and then before she, you know, dies, she probably had her brain coming back, right? Then she asked kal'tsit to be like, "Okay, don't hate him for killing me, and you have to protect him and save the other Amiya and protect the group, you know. It was my fault, I was turning evil, right?" And she's like, "No," and then afterwards she's like, "Fine, I did promise her that, so I did, that's what she wanted," right? So that's probably what happened. Damn it, I feel the theory is spot on. Okay, don't spoil it, come on, the theory is spot on, man. That's probably what happened, right? Yeah, the doctor isn't evil. He might be evil, but I feel more it's like he mercy defeated her, and then she hates him for it, but she just understands he had to do it, right? Man, I feel spot on that. What do you guys think? Yeah, don't spoil, please, but yeah, that's a good theory, right? That's a good theory. And you guys, if you subscribe, have a good day.